Some of you all know my story on like the first time I moved to Charlotte, but some of you all don't. So I'm gonna run it to you real quick so you'll just see just the bad mistakes that I made. You know what I'm saying? So, alright, I'm young. I have 2 children. The mother of my children. I decided I want to move to Charlotte, right? One of the reasons why is because at one point in time I was part of a cult and they had a bookstore up here. So I wanted to be closer to the bookstore so I could be able to save souls. That was one of the reasons. The second reason is I felt as though that Raleigh, North Carolina, in which I was staying at, had, you know, less of a population, and Charlotte had more to offer, right? And it was bigger. So I packed up my family and I, you know, and I drove a car that didn't have any brakes, didn't have any car insurance, and the license plate on it was bad, and I had a driving while license revoked. 3 of them on my driving record, right? So, you know, I was a little smart. I put my family on Amtrak, and I took, you know, the car. I drove the car up there. And I don't know how I figured it out, but I think I drove the car, dropped it off, and then got back to Raleigh, and then drove the U-Haul truck up here, right? So to make a long story short, I got up here. I didn't have a job. At that time, I had two books. I wrote 2 books, and I was pushing and promoting the 2 books. I had a website. I was making some decent money, but it wasn't money enough to the point where I can actually afford to pay my rent by myself. So the mother of my children, you know, we came together and we wound up paying the rent, and that's how I basically survived the first time I got here in Charlotte. Now, that is like a needle in a haystack. That does not happen. That is like slim, real slim chances. Now, taking heed, within that time of me doing that, you know, I was selling oils, incense, djembe drums, African, you know, attire, dashikis, ankhs, all types of African cultural things. You know what I'm saying? I had a website, aside from the website that I had set up for my my books. So I was out there selling online, and then I was out, you know, I had this little spot right off of, in between Sunset Road and Beattyford Road, right? Sunset Boulevard, Beattyford Road. And that little shopping area, the Food Line or whatever, I was selling oils, incense, and all of the stuff that I would sell online. So I had hustles. Had it not been for my hustles, and you know, the mother of my children, both of us had hustles going on. Had it not been for that, we would have been buried. We would have had to pack our stuff up and move right back to Raleigh. The point that I'm trying to make to you is you just don't want to move down here with just one job. If you do, let me tell you something. That is, to me, suicide. You want to know why? Because at the end of the day, when you work for someone, that person has control over your money, your economics, over your life and how you live your life, your lifestyle. So if that person is paying you $10 an hour and you're making, let's say, $400 out of the week, guess what? The only thing you could probably afford is a Dodge Neon. A 2005 Dodge Neon making payments of $150 a month. You understand? So you definitely want to put yourself in a position where you're working and you have your side hustle. That side hustle may be cutting hair, it may be doing hair, it may be doing nails, it may be another job. You see what I'm saying? Because nothing is guaranteed. You come down here and they tell you, yo, you hired, and don't worry about it. You know, this job is long term and blah, 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 blah. And next week they're like, oh, well, we need to shorten our hours because of COVID-19 and this and that and so forth. Now you are ass out. Let me tell you something. I'm glad that this day and time has happened. I wish that it didn't happen the way that it did. In other words, I wish that this COVID-19 didn't happen and, you know, millions of people are dying or dead. I didn't want that, but I did want the push of entrepreneurship, the push of this whole ideology of having a job having a job gives you stability. That's a lie. I'm glad that this push is over. That the lies are being dispelled. I remember years ago when I was at a cookout, right? Talking to my friends and family, and they always think, well, not now, but till, you know, prior to all of this going on, they used to think that I was cuckoo, you know, because I always had hustles going on. It didn't make a difference what it was. I would sell water to a well, you know what I'm saying? I would sell anything. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, they told me, you know, man, you need to settle down, you know, and get you a job because your job will give you stability. And I said to myself, you know, I've always been an avid reader. So I said to myself, I didn't say it to them, I didn't say it out loud, but I said to myself, hold on. When earthquakes happen, when there's a tsunami, that means that the tectonic plates are rubbing together. They're grinding and rubbing together, thus causes a tsunami and earthquakes, right? If the planet Earth is unstable to live on, like there's no stability. Just last year, we had a small earthquake in North Carolina. So if there's no stability on the planet Earth, why would I think living in a society where the fiat note, which is the dollar bill, is not backed by anything, why would I think getting a job in this society is going to give me stability? That doesn't make sense. No, having a job is being controlled over someone else. It's just that plain and simple. And that person is in control of whatever you make. And if they fire you, you're done. So I would say, this is a life-changing moment. And you need to take advantage of this life-changing moment. And if there is a so-called stability on this planet, then it would be that you would cover your ass. Meaning that you would have your job, which is, you know, that solid job that you say you've been working for 13, 14, 15 years and they transferring you here. Cool, ain't got no problem with that. Your 401k plan is set up and all of that. You have health insurance, you good, right? But just in case that doesn't happen, just in case when you make it to your 16th year and they say you're fired, you've been working this side job right here. Regardless of whether it's breaking leaves or whether you got your own loan company, whatever it may be. That second one is going to provide. That second one is going to be the backup for that first one. Especially if you're moving here by yourself. You're going to want to cover your own ass. It's just that plain and simple. Me? I got several hustles. And let me tell you something. I ain't too proud to go back to work the 9 to 5. I'm not. If things get hectic, I'll tuck in my pride and I'll take my ass back to the work field. That plain and simple. But until then, I'm going to continue to do these hustles. Yo, I've sold oils, incense, my books, bootleg CDs, bootleg movies. I mean, not as recently, but I'm saying in my past. Detoxes, black beans, quinoa, wild rice. I've sold some of everything. I was one of the first people to put up a website online and sell stuff. This is nothing new to me. I've had my Facebook account, I had that when it first came out, Twitter, all of that. Nothing new to me. I was on YouTube way before it popped off. Had I known that it was going to pop off like this, I would have been started doing videos. But that's the thing. And let me tell you something. Really, the real money is online. It really is. If you can create a business online, a service that people want, a product that people want, man, you can make some money. Straight up. It's just that plain and simple. It's all about what you have dreamed about doing. What you dream about doing, do it. And get it done. Like, it's nothing for you to get online. Listen, let me tell you something. I've had a website made for me that cost me $500, right? But then I've also did Wix.com that didn't cost me anything. All I had to do was set up my domain name, set the website up to my PayPal account, and sell my product. That plain and simple. Take pictures, professional pictures. You know, I have my lights and all of that, and you know, a black background, and put the product up there. Boom, boom, boom. Take pictures, edit it up, post it up. Boom. Marketing and advertising on my Facebook page, on Instagram, or whatever. You have to make things work for you. This is the day and time that we're living in. Nobody's going to hold your hand anymore. This is not the 2000s, early 2000s. This is definitely not the 90s, or the 80s, or the 70s. Period. That whole having one job is out the window. Unless you want to live on a budget. Unless you just want to go to work, get off, put it to you like this, eat, shit, and sleep. If you want to do that, go work your regular job. But if you want to do extracurricular things, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It sounds funny though. If you want to do extra things, such as go to the movies, take your wife out to eat and stuff like that, you're gonna need some extra income. And you don't want to pull that income. I see where you're going with it. I have credit cards too. You don't want to do that. Let me tell you something. My score could be 750, 80, 800 or more, right? You want to know why it's not that? I mean, my credit score is pretty decent. You understand? But you want to know why it's not like that? Because I tend not to use my credit cards, man. I don't like using other people's money. I just don't. It's always been my pet peeve. That's the reason why I can't see myself buying a house, because it scares me. I'm looking on paper, $300,000 and I got to pay a mortgage for the next 20 years? No, that's okay. I don't want it. I'd rather rent. I'd rather do that. $500 a month for a Lexus SC100? Nah, I don't want to do that. That plain and simple. Yo, listen, let me tell you something. I'm just trying to help you all out. Don't bring your ass down here if you just have one job and no hustle and you just totally dependent on that one job. Just don't. I'm telling you. Don't, because there's no guarantee. Charlotte is not an amusement park. I'm here to tell you that. The rent is going up because guess what? This city is in demand. There are hundreds of thousands of people migrating here each year. Period. So the more people, the higher the prices. It's not Disneyland. So I don't know what you may think. You may come down here from New York and you be like, oh man, it's cheap, it's this and that and so forth. But once you get here and of course you're not going to get paid the same amount that you got paid in New York. It all balances out. You make a certain amount of money in New York because the cost of living is high. You make a certain amount of money in North Carolina because the cost of living is low. All I'm here to tell you is that you just want to make sure you have your back. And if you have a husband and y'all married and y'all both have jobs, that's still not saying anything. Both of y'all can get laid off. And now what? That plain and simple. You don't want to be in a position where you get an eviction on your credit, or you sitting there worrying about bills. I've been there and I've done that. And some people may sit back and say, well, Langston, why are you telling all your business and this and that? And people are going to think this way and that. First of all, I don't care what people think about me. That's the first thing. The second thing is, I don't mind talking about what happened in the past, because that's what it is. That's what it is. The past. Just think about this. If I'm at a party, right, and you know my business, somebody comes up to me that don't know me, and then you tell my business, yeah, Langston used to be homeless, and the dude is like, well, what you telling me that for? Because I've been to his house. It don't make sense. Like, you're looking stupid more than me, more than I. But the thing of it is with me is, this is what it boils down to, man. If I can talk about my bad experiences and the things that I've been through to prevent you from making those same mistakes, I ain't got no problem with laying out my life at all. None. I think that that's what we should do in the first place. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm a better man than I was in the past. That person that was in the past, I don't know who that is. That's not me anymore. So therefore, I can talk about that person. You understand? Other than that, I hope that I've helped you all out. Don't bring your ass down here unless you have a job and a hustle. If you're an entrepreneur, you got your own business, I still would say get you a little side hustle too. Nothing is guaranteed. Like, comment, subscribe, definitely share this video.